CEO and founder of Peer39. So on your question, I think that we believe that behavioral and semantics and all these technologies are actually one on top of the other, or complementary to each other. We are developing technologies to understand content to the meaning of them, and we apply them to large publishers and our network customers, working with the behavioral companies or with all the other data providers. And I'll try to explain what I'm saying. Basically, when there is a technology that understands the page and then you know what the user is about, that's a very, very powerful combination. We do not feel that there's competing in any way. Actually, on the contrary, we're seeing a very big lift once you're able in your algorithms to combine those two areas and actually target based on those two sentences.
But isn't there a certain cost, ceiling? You're using so many different services. I mean, what's the bottom for the value of getting back for all these different type of technology?
Right. So it depends on the publisher and depends on the advertiser goals. And there's definitely things that you should use more behavioral stuff than semantic stuff, but it has to be a component in your decision-making engine. So, on the publisher side, which is our focus, we definitely see moving stuff from the remnant back to the direct, which we're doing. But all those smart publishers, what they're doing now is they're saying, hey, you know what, this is an effective CPM. If I can move stuff from 70 cents back to $7 based on the fact of the content that it's travel, that's great. But you know what, if I have it buy for $10 on the behavioral area, I'll go with the behavioral. So it's not competing at all. Actually, it's another layer in the food chain that sometimes can coexist and actually drive more performance. And sometimes in the ad server, in the campaign manager, it's actually a prioritize of A, B, or C, depends on how you run your campaigns. We see it across all the publishers that we're doing. Some are more robust in how they use it, and some are just learning and how to optimize based on what the meaning is and what the behavioral is. We see it, very clearly on the publisher side, and also with the networks. The smart networks which we provide the technology with are looking at the semantic technology. Yes, is the basis of what the page is about, but then learning a lot of other data points on what's on the page. What's the user about? Frequency cap, other optimization solutions. But it's definitely the whole package that we believe is the holy grail of targeting.
So when you talk about semantics, tell me some of the possible things that that your company is working on, say within the next year or the next 2 years, you see being rolled out.
Yeah, so I think that the key thing that we're doing now is actually decreasing remnant for publishers, and that's our focus. I think what we'll see in the future is exactly what you were talking before and asking. The key for this entire industry is to leverage more data. And I think the more data providers there will be, and there are companies like in the social graph space, in the behavioral space, in the semantic space, and in the contextual state, they can all work together and actually provide kind of a turnkey solution for it. So let's take an example of a page which we know where the person came from, we know what he's about, we know his demographics, we know who his friends, what they're buying, we know what he's reading now, and we know the time and day, geo, and everything he saw before. That's the type of person you want to target. Because obviously there's no guarantees, but you increase dramatically the probability of him, A, clicking on the banner or the ad, and of course on the back end, buying or executing according to their campaign.